You know what's funny? Whether somebody asks whether a bundle is worth buying, the answer are almost always the same. It's one of the best bundles. That one is having terrible value. Never buy that. Always buy this. And I start wondering how many of those opinions are actually based on numbers. Because I think most players judge bundles completely the wrong way. Not because they cannot do math, because they're measuring the wrong things. For the longest time, I looked the bundles exactly like everybody else. How many speed ups, how many legendary tokens, how many gems. The bigger the number look, the better the bundle look. Simple, except it isn't. Because eventually I noticed something strange. Two players could spend almost the same amount of money and finish the season with completely different accounts. If the bundle were so obvious, how was that possible? Then I realized buying a bundle isn't really about what's inside it, it's about what bundle allow you to do afterward. And those are completely different questions. I'm going to share with you one personal story about the bundles that I was thinking is amazing until I realized it didn't actually change my account progression. And this bundle is going to sound strange for you, but this is actually the daily bundle. As you can see, I already purchased this bundle. That means I already buy all these three bundles. Now, why I'm saying that this is actually a mistake bundle, but in the same time, I'm buying this bundle. Now, first thing first is actually the hero that I'm looking to open here. I'm looking to open Verdun. This is actually a hero that currently I'm using. I'm still developing. I have Cantaman fully awakened. I'm going to even show you. Yeah, Cantaman, yeah. I think in my previous videos I already showed this bad boy is awakened. But I'm actually looking to make my Vardun to also be awakened. So in this case, the bundle is actually having the best value for me. But the moment I open Verdun, this bundle has no value for me because if I don't plan to awake anything else. And just by buying this bundle is not actually the right approach, and I'm going to explain why. Because by going for the daily bundle, before that I was actually going for Joran. And I actually built Joran to some extent. Where is this Joran? If I find him, yeah. Even right now, I have like 93 tokens, Joran tokens. But the thing is, yeah, I may get the daily bundles, but I don't use Joran at this point. The infantry I'm using is either Nea with Kuma or I use Goresh with Kuma. Because Kuma is awakened, also Goresh is awakened. Nea still needs some work. I even invest in her, but the only thing I actually need there is for the camouflage. I mean, this is the most OP skill that any hero in Call of Dragons can have. So, yeah, at one point, by looking the daily bundles, we're seeing that I'm continuing investing. But this is the personal story about the bundle that, is amazing when you need it, but is completely, it's not actually change your account progression if you don't need it, because you're getting your daily bundles for heroes that you're not using, and those heroes are not well developed like the heroes you already have. So you have to continuously investing in these heroes by daily bundles to get the value. And the first mistake I think players make is judging every resource equally. A day of speed ups doesn't always equal another day of speed ups. 1,000 gems aren't always worth another 1,000 gems. Everything depends on timing. Let's say one bundle give you 30 days of speed ups. Sound fantastic. But what if those speed ups just sit in your inventory for 3 months? Did they actually make your account stronger? Not yet. Now imagine another bundle that give you fewer speed ups but let you finish an important research before a major event, or let you finish a hero, or let you finish a pet. Same resources, completely different outcome. That's completely changed how I start looking at the purchases. Resources don't have a fixed value, they have contextual value. Then I start paying attention to something I never really considered before, and this is opportunity cost. And boy, oh boy, let me know in the comments, have you ever have some opportunity cost in Call of Dragons, because I definitely have. Every time you buy one bundle, you're choosing not to buy another one. Obviously, if you have unlimited amount of money, you can buy whatever you like. That sounds obvious, but I don't think most players actually compare bundles that way. Instead, they ask, is this bundle good? I think the better question is this the best use of my money right now? Question mark. Because even good bundles can become bad purchases if they stop you from buying something much more valuable later. And that's why I actually stop. I want to point out that's why I actually stop investing in the daily bundles, because it's crazy good value. It's very good value, but at the end of the day, if I want to progress with my decorations, because I have 5 very solid marches already, by buying the daily bundles, I'm sacrificing what I can get for my decorations. Okay, so only so yeah, this is something that I'm currently going to do the moment I finish Verdun. I mean, it's looking obvious, but the daily bundle is very good one. That's where I think players incidentally waste the most money. Not by buying terrible bundles, but by buying decent bundles at the wrong time. I'm going to give you a real example of choosing to skip a popular bundle because future purchase won't create far more account value. And this is the daily bundle, something that I'm doing right now. Now, there was also decorations that pop up. I mean, we're having new decorations in Call of Dragons, Mysterium Braille Pot and Abyss Blade. The moment I get this two one, I have a pop up here that for $4 was giving me like 40 universal blueprints. And these blueprints, I can basically use them for anything I like. I have like 231 universal blueprints, but yeah, you get the idea. I can buy basically 40 of this one for $4, which is a good price in my opinion at the end of the day. But you don't have unlimited resources, especially if you're having some kind of budget in Call of Dragons. If person can spend like thousands and thousands of dollars, this completely different topic. Now, another thing surprised me. Players love calculating value per dollar. I used to do exactly the same thing. I even express it like right now. It's like 4 tokens for $4 or $5. I used to do exactly the same thing until these days. From time to time, I actually do it. How many gems? How many speed ups? How many tokens? But eventually, I realized those calculations ignore one big factor: your account. That exact same bundle can be incredibly incredible for one player and almost useless for another one. A player rushing tier 5 value speedups completely different from someone who already finished this research. And I can say I'm one of these people. I mean, back in the days, I even make a stream when I was opening. I was like, we're opening the tier 5 today. I make the stream. I was having 600 days of speed ups. And I was like, it should be enough. It should be enough. And at the end of the stream, I didn't open the tier 5. After 2 weeks, I make the stream and I opened the tier 5. It was like a little disappointing because there was like 100 people watching. But anyway, the point is that it is completely different value having speed ups for opening the tier 5 and just stockpile speed ups for events like Greatest Heights. Okay, and the research speed ups have different value. and etc. It's just different value. Those speed ups have different value for different players. A new account value hero development differently for a veteran account. Someone push VIP values. Someone pushing VIP value gems differently from somebody who already reached their goal. Even though that I actually reached my goal, to be fair, I'm having like VIP 15. SVP is giving also crazy value, brother. I mean, elixir production speed extra 5% here. Legion attack extra 5% because here is like, where is Legion attack? 5%. Defense HP. When you get SVP, you're getting Legion attack. What else do you get? Okay, the rest is looking the same. Resource healing, SVP store, max CP, Legion capacity 5%. You're going to have like 310k and stuff like this, especially elixir speed and Legion attack. This is crazy. So I'm started thinking more and more. I actually invest some gems in the opening the SVIP. I need like 650k. It's really a lot of work at the end of the day, but the SVP is just giving some crazy value. But yeah, the bundle didn't change, the account did. That's why copying somebody else speeding priorities rarely work. You're copying their progression, not yours. Then I noticed something else. Players often buy bundles because they look efficient. Not because they solve problem. That's a huge difference, by the way. A bundle can have incredible value on paper, but if it doesn't remove your biggest progression bottleneck, it's actually aren't helping you your account very much. Meanwhile, another bundle with fewer total resources might eliminate the exact thing that's slowing you down. That's why I stopped asking how much the value does this bundle give, and I start asking, what problem does this bundle is going to solve if I buy it? That single question made my spending decisions much easier. I'm going to give you an account example where a small purchase creates more long-term progression than much bigger one because it's the right bottleneck. And this is the Titan Legacy. I don't know if we still have it. Okay, the Titan Legacy finished, but at the end of the season, you're going to have speed ups for the Titan Legacy. You're going to get some Universal or Generation 5 or whatever generation you are. You're going to get tons of tokens. You're going to get a lot of legendary Titan medals. You're going to get some keys that you're going to need for Forge of Light. It's just this bundle is solving so many problems. So many problems. That's why, for me, it's the best value because whatever problem you're having, even though if you're starting now or your end game account, this one can actually help you solve many problems. So maybe this is what problems is solving. The Titan Legacy is solving, and on top of that is giving artifacts. By the way, I make my Spring Blades level 5 just because of the Titan Legacy. I have never go for Forge of Light for this artifact. I get it from the Titan Legacy, and it's level 5. It's doing pretty nice damage at the end of the day. Eventually, I realized I wasn't really buying bundles anymore. I was buying progression. Sometimes that progression was speed up, sometimes it was gems, sometimes it was hero development, sometimes was simply saving money because nothing available actually improved my account. And honestly, I think that's the biggest mindset shift. Players think spending efficiently means finding the higher value bundles. I don't anymore. I think spending efficiently means finding the purchase that move your account forward the most today. Those aren't always the same things. Looking back, I don't think most players waste money because they buy bad bundles. I think they waste money because they never decide what their account actually needs before opening the shop. The moment you know your biggest bottleneck, most bundles decisions become surprisingly easy. So the next time a new bundle appear at and everyone starts saying it's the amazing or terrible, maybe ignore the comments for for a minute and instead ask yourself one question. If I buy this, what problem on my account actually disappears? Because if you can answer this question, the bundle probably isn't as valuable as it looks like. Anyway, guys, that is for this video. A huge thank you to all channel members for supporting the channel. If you do like to support the channel as well, you can check out the join button below. Members get early access to videos, exclusive content, member shoutouts, and Warwords member can reach me out directly for strategy and account advices. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.